Hey, what's going on guys? Will's Garage here. So recently I've been smelling a burning coolant smell after long drives, and upon opening the hood and cover, I discovered the turbo coolant lines are leaking. As you can see here, there's evidence of leakage below the coolant pipes, and this is a really common issue on these cars. The rubber hoses get damaged over time due to the intense heat of the turbos, so I'm just going to be replacing these before it gets worse. Okay, so in order to remove these heat jackets, I found it really hard to just remove it by hand because these buttons are in very tight and there's not much room to grab onto. And when I tried pulling hard, the fabric started separating from the button. So I found a good method to use on removing these is to use a flathead screwdriver and just try to get in between the button and pop it out. So this center one looks like it's leaking. Alright, so I got the heat blankets removed, and this one was clearly actively leaking. This one's also leaking as well, but not as bad. This one's leaking a bit on the upper end. So out of all four, this was the only one that is still sealed properly. BMW uses these ear clamp style hoses, which are a little tricky to remove. The easiest way I found to remove them is to pry them with a screwdriver, specifically at the metal tab that holds it in. And to make it easier to access them, you might want to turn the clamp to a side. Last one here. These were a pain in the ass to remove, but you just got to be patient with it, and eventually they come out. Alright, so now that we have the clamps removed, these rubber hoses, they're still on pretty tight, and there's not much wiggle room, so in order to remove them, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it with a razor blade. There might be a little residual coolant in the rubber hoses, so you might want to lay down a paper towel underneath just to catch any fluid that might come out. This is what it looks like without the rubber hoses. I decided to go with the OEM style hoses and clamps. I'll leave the part number in the description of the video if you're interested in checking it out. The OEM kit comes with ear clamp style hoses, which I know are not very popular, so you can use other clamps if you like. I just prefer keeping things OEM on my car. But if you do decide on using these ear clamps, I recommend using these ear clamp pliers. I bought this set on eBay for about $15. Alright, so now we're ready to reinstall the new rubber hoses, but as you can see, there's not much space available. So in order to create more space, you can pop these metal hoses out of its bracket. create a little bit more room. So now I'm just going to go ahead and slide the rubber hoses all into one end at a time. In this case, you're going to have to do these two at the same time and the other two at the same time because they're all connected as one piece. And don't forget to feed in your hose clamps before connecting the tube.
One hour later.
Alright guys, I really screwed up and I dropped one of the hose clamps down into the engine bay, and I just spent like an hour searching all around for it. But luckily I did find it. It actually landed right underneath the turbo inlet underneath here. So I'm going to try to fish it out with one of these tools right here. Oh my God. What a freaking nightmare. Whatever you guys do, do not drop your hose clamp into the engine bay. Next step now is just gonna have to finagle the rubber hose into these inlets at the same time because they're connected as one. Line up the ear clamp. Just squeeze. Nice squeeze there. Here's what the new hoses and clamps look like. Now I'm going to put the heat blankets back on. Alright, that's it guys. It's a pretty easy job as long as you don't drop a hose clamp into your engine bay and spend over an hour looking for it like I did. Really straightforward job and pretty easy to do. But hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if your turbo coolant lines have been leaking, there's a high chance the expansion tank for the turbo coolant is likely low. Mine is low here. As you can see, the level is below the minimum. So just make sure to fill it up. I'm just gonna fill up with 50/50 BMW coolant and distilled water.